Hello everyone, welcome to ITLS Academy. This is your mentor Dr. Shamaita Basu, and in this session we will be talking about the second part of the topic of toxicology in the crime laboratory. Okay, so I think in the last session where I talked about the first part of toxicology, I mainly focused on the different aspects of toxicology, what will be the main broad roles of the toxicologists, how will the toxicologist find out whether it's a acidic drug or a basic drug, and also the different lethal doses and the different features of toxicity. Okay, or the toxic agents. So in this session I will be mainly starting with alcohol, okay, because alcohol toxicity is a huge aspect or a huge topic which comes under the wing of forensic toxicology. Okay, so starting with alcohol toxicity, I would first like to give you a brief idea about what is actually alcohol and what how it acts or how it causes the different toxic effects or the different changes in the normal physiological functions of the human body. Okay, so alcohol is basically nothing but ethyl alcohol. As we know, the chemical constitution of the chemical name will be ethyl alcohol, which will be having the chemical formula of C2H5OH. So it is the most abused drug in America, and not only in America, nowadays in India also. So about 40% of all traffic deaths are alcohol related, and it acts as a depressant inside our body. Traffic deaths means the RTAs, the road traffic accidents. So it acts as a depressant toxic by affecting the central nervous system, especially the brain. So the main center at which the alcohol acts is the brain, and also to some extent the spinal cord. So it's basically a colorless liquid which is generally diluted in water. It appears in blood within minutes, 30 to 90 minutes for full absorption. So the moment you consume alcohol, within 10 to 15 minutes it will start appearing in your blood, and for full absorption of alcohol inside the blood it will require around 30 to 90 minutes. And the detoxification process of the alcohol takes place entirely in the liver, about 90% in the liver, and that's why liver is the the main victim of alcohol consumption or alcohol what is alcohol toxicity, okay, or alcohol abuse, because liver is the main central organ in our body for metabolism. So whatever thing we are consuming, whether it's a food, it's a drug, it's a medicine or alcohol, it's going and getting ultimately metabolized inside the liver. So since alcohol is a toxic agent, so we will not refer to the process as metabolism, we will refer to as detoxification. And that is entirely happening inside the liver. So you can imagine that such a toxic agent getting totally detoxified in the liver. So how much pressure or how much burden it will be on the liver. Okay, so that's why liver is the most affected organ, and all these fatty liver, liver cirrhosis, liver cancer, all these different pathological conditions of the liver mainly occur due to alcohol abuse or alcohol consumption. Okay, okay, so now before starting with the physiological effect or the toxic effect of alcohol in the body, I would just like to give you a brief introduction about how our respiratory system, our circulatory system actually works. Okay, so this is the heart, as you can see over here. So it has the right auricle and the left auricle, and also the right ventricle and the left ventricle. Okay, so these are the arteries, as you can see. So from the left ventricle we have the artery, and these are the body tissues. Okay, and the main concept is that the veins are carrying the deoxygenated blood and the arteries are carrying the oxygenated blood. Okay, so from the lungs, the pulmonary vein will be carrying the oxygenated blood to the heart. Then it will be moving on to the left ventricle. From the left ventricle through the artery, the oxygenated blood will be given or will be distributed to the various body tissues. And then after getting distributed, obviously the blood will become deoxygenated because all the oxygen has been used up, and then this deoxygenated blood will go through the veins and reach the right auricle of the heart. From the right auricle it will be going to the right ventricle. Finally, from the right ventricle through the pulmonary artery it will be going to the lungs for purification. So again the lungs will be producing oxygenated blood, and again it will be coming to the heart via the pulmonary vein. So pulmonary vein is the only exception which, in spite of being a vein, is carrying oxygenated blood instead of deoxygenated blood. And again, uh, so this is basically the entire scenario of blood circulation that is going on inside our body with the help of the heart and the lungs. So the main function, the main part is played by the lungs over here, the main part of purification of blood, and the heart is basically nothing but a pumping organ which is pumping that purified blood throughout the body. Okay, so and this is basically the different distribution of the pulmonary vein and pulmonary artery, as you can see, and how they are actually coming and giving supply to the different alveolar sacs of the lungs also, because alveoli are the functional unit of the lungs. They are known as the windows of the lungs. Okay, so throughout these alveolar sacs we can see that this pulmonary artery and pulmonary veins are distributed. Okay, and this is where actually oxygen carbon dioxide exchange or transfer is happening. Okay, so a major branch of forensic toxicology deals with the measurement of alcohol in the body for matters that pertain to violations of criminal law. I will be talking about what can be the different tests that can be performed in order to detect alcohol inside the body of a person, and how alcohol and law are interrelated. Criminal law are interrelated. I will be talking about all these things in details in this session as well as in the next session also. Okay. Okay, now the rate of absorption of alcohol will depend on various factors. What are those factors? Let's see. Okay, so number one, it will depend on the amount of alcohol consumed. Secondly, it will depend on the alcohol content of the beverage. Third, it will depend on the time taken to consume it. Fourth, quantity and type of food present in the stomach. Okay, also there's a big association of whether you are taking the alcohol on an empty stomach or a full stomach. I will be showing you a nice graph which will help you to understand in a more vivid way. Okay, physiology of the consumer, whether different physiological problems are there, whether the consumer is already suffering from different pathological conditions or not. Okay, about 5% is excreted unchanged in breath, perspiration and urine. Okay, so that will also be a factor determining the rate of absorption, because 5% will be excreted via different routes. Okay. Okay, now coming to toxicology of alcohol. This is again something I will be talking about some of the later slides also. So the analysis of alcohol exemplifies the primary objective of forensic toxicology, that is the detection and isolation of drugs in the body for the purpose of determining their influence on human behavior. So whenever we are talking about detecting some toxic agent or some poison inside the body, in order to analyze or in order to get an explanation to why that person is actually behaving in that manner, alcohol will be in the topmost list of such toxic drugs or poisons. So alcohol or ethyl alcohol is a colorless liquid normally diluted with water and consumed as a beverage. Like any depressant, alcohol principally affects the central nervous system, particularly the brain. So central nervous system means it will include the brain along with the spinal cord, but it mainly has its effect on the brain. Okay, now coming to the main physiological action or the main mechanism of action of alcohol inside our body. So this is something we already know, that it depresses the CNS, mainly the brain. And the extent of depression, extent of how much it will depress the brain, will be directly proportional to concentration of alcohol within the nerve cells. Okay, because see, brain or spinal cord central nervous system means what? It's the neurons, it's the nerve cells, isn't it? So it will be directly proportional to how much concentration of alcohol is actually present in the nerve cells. Okay, more the concentration of alcohol present in the nerve cells, more will be the depression in the CNS or the brain. Okay, and especially the forebrain. Okay, so eventually alcohol will affect the central and rear portions of the brain. So it will start with the forebrain and then gradually it will go backwards and it will be affecting the central and the rear portions of the brain. And when we are talking about the rear portions of the brain, mainly it will be affecting the pons and the medulla oblongata. Okay. Most resistant and last to fail are in the medulla, which regulates respiration and heart activity. Exactly what I said. As soon as after reaching the rear brain, as soon as it reaches and hits the medulla oblongata, that effect will be the long lasting and it will be regulating respiration and heart activity. Okay, it will be leading to tachycardia, increased heart rate, and also increased or rapid breathing. Okay, respiratory rate will also be high. Okay, so most of the tests that are there to detect alcohol inside the body will rely on the blood, which because it is the medium for circulating alcohol throughout the body. Because circulatory system is a system which is present in each and every corner of the body. So if something is getting mixed with the blood, that means it will be going and hitting each and every part of the body. Okay, so obviously blood will be the medium for circulating alcohol throughout the body. Research confirms the direct proportional relationship of blood alcohol concentration to brain alcohol concentration. Means more the amount of alcohol present in the blood, more will be the amount of alcohol present in the brain. Then we have something called maximum blood alcohol content, which is abbreviated as BAC, uh, which may not be reached until 2 to 3 hours after time of consumption, more likely within 30 to 90 minutes. Okay, so this is something again I have mentioned earlier, that it takes around 60 to 90 minutes for complete absorption. So after complete absorption only you will get the exact value of maximum BAC, isn't it? From final drink until absorption process is completed. Okay, so 30 to 90 minutes from the final drink till the total absorption process is completed, we will have to wait in order to measure the BAC. Okay, so alcohol will become uniformly distributed throughout the watery portion of the body at complete absorption, two-thirds of body volume. So it will be completely absorbed, which will be around two-thirds of the body volume. Liver begins the elimination process of 95 to 98% of alcohol by oxidation. So as I mentioned earlier also, liver is the victim. It is the only organ where the entire detoxification process or the entire metabolism of alcohol will occur. So it will be detoxifying or metabolizing around 95 to 98% of alcohol. Why? How? Mainly by the process of oxidation. Okay, so how this happens basically? So there comes the role of a very important enzyme inside the body, that is alcohol dehydrogenase, which is present in the liver obviously. So it will be converting alcohol into acetaldehyde and then to acetic acid, which will be oxidized to carbon dioxide and water. So carbon dioxide and water, obviously water is required for the body, and carbon dioxide is something which will be easily eliminated from the body via breathing, isn't it? And that is also a reason why after alcohol detoxification the rate of respiration increases, the respiratory rate increases, because we have to eliminate more CO2 from the body. Okay, so this part is very important. I would just like to highlight it for you, that how is alcohol getting detoxified inside the liver. So this enzyme is very important, that is alcohol dehydrogenase, which is firstly converting alcohol to acetaldehyde, and then that acetaldehyde is getting converted to acetic acid, which is finally getting oxidized to carbon dioxide and water. So basically it's a oxidation process for alcohol metabolism or detoxification. So the remaining 2 to 5% that is there, because liver is converting 97 to 98% of alcohol. So there is remaining 3 to 5%. Okay. So that will be excreted unchanged in the breath, urine and perspiration. Perspiration means sweat, urine, and through the breathing also it will be, the remaining percentage will be eliminated automatically in the form of alcohol only, not in some detoxified form. Okay. So the amount exhaled through that breath, urine or perspiration will be directly proportional to the concentration of alcohol in the blood. So more the amount of concentration is there in my blood, more will be my uh, or more will be my exhalation of alcohol through my breath. Okay. So using the Henry's law, we all know what is Henry's law. So the alveoli air is approximately, say for example, 2100 is to 1. So that is basically the alcohol content which is present in 1 ml of blood, which is again equal to 2100 ml of alcohol content in the alveoli air. So estimation or burn off rate can vary by 30% between individuals, but average will be 0.015% weight per volume per hour. Okay, so per hour, a person who has taken alcohol will be eliminating or will be exhaling around 0.015% weight by volume of alcohol. Okay. Okay, now talking about alcohol's movement through the circulatory system, how it will be moving throughout the circulatory system. So after alcohol is ingested, it will be, because it is taking it will be going via the gastrointestinal tract, isn't it, since we are ingesting it. So it will be moving down the esophagus, that is the food pipe, into the stomach, where about 20% of the alcohol is absorbed through the stomach lining into the portal vein. Portal veins means the hepatic vein. Remaining 80% will be absorbed into the blood through the lining of the small intestine. So 20% will be absorbed in the stomach only, and they will be going to the liver only via the hepatic portal vein, and the remaining 80% will be getting absorbed into the in the small intestine. Okay, so once in the blood, it is transported to the liver, heart, lungs, back to the heart to be distributed to all parts of the body. So एक बार ब्लड में जब आ जाएगा, उसके बाद it will be transported mainly to the liver and also to the heart as well as the lungs, and after getting transported, it will be coming back to the heart only for getting distributed to all parts of the body, because it is the normal circulatory pathway, isn't it? Okay, so as you can see in this slide, so we all know that humans are having a closed circulatory system, which is consisting of a heart, the arteries, the veins, and the capillaries. And this diagram is basically explaining the different harmful effects of alcohol throughout the different harmful or toxic effects of alcohol throughout the different organ systems of the body. So starting right from the brain, so it will be causing brain damage, addiction, and stroke. Then coming to vision, it will be causing blurred vision, it will be causing slurred speech, bleeding throat, uh, breathing may stop, or there can be abnormal respiratory rate or increased respiratory rate, as I have mentioned. Different heart diseases can occur, irregular heartbeat can occur, which is known as arrhythmia. Stomach ulcers can occur, liver disease, liver failure can occur, okay, muscle weakness can be there, intestinal cancer can be there, intestinal ulcer can be there. And in case talking about the reproductive system, it can lead to infertility or sterility both in men and women. Men can suffer from impotency also, erectile dysfunction, and it can also lead to osteoporosis, okay, which damages the bones. Okay. So moving forward, this is again a general overview of the circulatory system that I have given over here, how the lungs and hearts are together playing the role in order to maintain the circulatory system. So again, this is something I have already explained in the previous slide with the help of a diagram. So I will just read it out. So point number one, blood will reach in carbon dioxide. Blood reach in carbon dioxide means the deoxygenated blood will be pumped from the heart into the lungs through the pulmonary arteries. And the arteries are basically the blood vessels which will be carrying blood away from the heart, means oxygenated blood, and the veins will be those blood vessels which will be carrying blood to the heart, means the deoxygenated blood. So in the lungs, CO2 in the blood will be exchanged for O2, means the blood will be purified. The oxygen-rich blood will be carried back to the heart through the pulmonary veins, which is the exception. And the oxygen-rich blood will be then pumped from the heart to the many tissues and organs of the body through the systemic arteries. In the tissues, the arteries narrow to tiny capillaries. Here O2 in the blood will be exchanged for CO2, and then the capillaries will widen into the systemic veins, which will carry the CO2 rich blood back to the heart. So this is basically the diagram which explains this entire scenario. Okay, now moving forward, what is the relation or what will be the effect on this alcohol on the circulatory system? So alcohol will be absorbed from the stomach and small intestine into the bloodstream. As I mentioned, from the stomach it will be absorbed 20%, and remaining 80% will be absorbed into the small intestine. Alcohol is carried to the liver, where the process of its destruction will begin or detoxification will begin. So it's mainly by oxidation. Firstly, it will be converted to acetaldehyde, then to acetic acid, and then finally it will be oxidized to CO2 and water. So this is again a diagram that I have given, and this is a typical overview or typical figure representing or comparing the normal liver with the cirrhotic liver. Okay, so this liver has undergone liver cirrhosis, means the liver has been damaged, destructed, and this is a normal liver. Okay, and these are the entire different organs, important organs of the digestive system or gastrointestinal tract, where we have the esophagus, the stomach, then we have the CBD or the common bile duct, we have the gallbladder, we have the liver, we have the cystic duct, We have the pancreatic duct, we have the pancreas itself, which is a leaf-like organ, and we have the small intestine. So why these organs are shown over here? Because these are the main organs which are damaged or which are affected by the effect of alcohol. So blood carrying alcohol will be moving to the heart and it will be pumped to the lungs. Okay. So this is how, see, obviously if it is carried to the heart and then from the heart it will be pumped to the lungs also, then obviously the heart and lungs will also be those organs which will be largely affected by the toxicity of alcohol, isn't it? So again over here I have given a nice diagram or overview of how a normal heart and alcohol affected heart will look like. Okay. So basically what happens, cardiomyopathy happens due to increased alcohol consumption, which eventually leads to different infarctions of the coronary artery, which finally leads to heart attack, which is in medical terminology known as acute myocardial infarction. Okay. So this is how the normal ventricles will look like. Both the right and the left ventricles are shown over here, and this is after the side effect or after the harmful effect of alcohol on the heart, where we will be having enlarged left and right ventricles. So see, both the left and right ventricles will be enlarged due to dilated cardiomyopathy. So what do you mean by cardiomyopathy? It's basically pathological effect on the cardiac muscles, as a result of which the ventricles will be dilated and expanded. So in the lungs, the carbon dioxide and alcohol will leave the blood and oxygen will enter the blood in the air sacs, which are known as the alveoli, the windows of the lungs, as I said. Then the carbon dioxide and the alcohol will be exhaled during the breathing. So together with the alcohol, the carbon dioxide will be exhaled, which is a normal breathing procedure. Okay. And here comes the importance of the breathing test or the breather test or the breath analyzer tests, as you can see in this figure over here. I will be talking about in details about the breather test or the breath analyzer tests. Okay. So again, this is the scenario that I have given over here, the diagram which actually the scenario or the physiology which actually occurs inside the lungs when a person has consumed alcohol. Okay, so blood is entering from the heart into the lungs, as you can see. There is a network of capillaries which are embedded in the alveolar wall, okay, which will also include the pulmonary veins and the pulmonary arteries. And this is basically the entrance into the alveolus, that is the functional unit of the lungs, and these are the capillaries which are bordering the alveolus. Okay. So, and this is the basically the opening or the entrance to the alveolus, as they have shown over here, through which the air will be coming in and coming out. Coming in means it will be rich in oxygen, and going out means it will be rich in carbon dioxide and alcohol also, if it is if the person has consumed it. Okay. And from here the blood will be going to the heart after getting purified. So oxygen will be absorbed by diffusion into the blood from the air, as you can see over here, and in return carbon dioxide will be excreted by diffusion into the air from the blood. So both alcohol and carbon dioxide will be transported by means of diffusion only. Okay. Again, I've given a brief overview about toxicology of alcohol also. I think I've also kept a slide in the previous sections of this session also regarding toxicology of alcohol. So the analysis of alcohol exemplifies the primary objective of forensic toxicology, that is the detection and isolation of drugs in the body for the purpose of determining their influence on the human behavior, as I already mentioned. And basically alcohol is nothing but a colorless liquid which is normally taken as a beverage, and it is usually diluted using water or soda water or cold drinks, etc. Okay. And this is a very important diagram I would like to mention about it, because it shows how it actually acts on the different parts of the brain, or actually what are the normal functions of the different parts of the brain. And basically when alcohol will be affecting the brain, it will be impairing all these different normal functions of the brain. Okay. So as I already mentioned, it will be acting as a depressant to the brain, to the overall CNS, mainly the brain. Okay. So as you can see, this is the cerebrum, and this is the cortex. Uh, then we have the hippocampus over here. We have the basal ganglia, we have the cerebellum. Cerebrum and cerebellum are the most important parts of the brain, and also the hypothalamus is there, the thalamus is there, diencephalon is there, okay, neocortex is there. Neocortex is basically the outer portion of the cerebral hemisphere, okay. So the main part of the main function of the cerebrum, which is the largest part of the brain, will be controlling consciousness and different voluntary processes like walking, talking, etc. Then we have hippocampus, which will be involved in the different emotional aspects, okay. It also plays an important role in the memory. We have the cerebellum, which is mainly involved, in balance, posture, coordination, like how to walk, keeping a balance, okay, keeping a particular, maintaining a particular pattern, all these things. Hypothalamus will be important in maintaining the overall homeostasis of the body. Thalamus will be important to relay the information to the cerebral cortex, okay. These are mostly the important parts of the brain, and all these normal functionalities of the brain will be hampered as a result of effect of alcohol, okay. And that is the reason why balance is not there, coordination is lost, the normal cognitive processes are lost, okay. Normally, speech is slurred, vision is blurred, okay. So this means the different centers of the brain, because brain is a machine. It's like a master machine which is controlling all the different functionalities of the body. So it's the main center. So if that center is hampered, so it will automatically affect the overall body. Okay, so I think that's it. In the next session, the last session of this topic, that is toxicology, I will be talking about how to detect, what are the different methods to detect alcohol concentration inside the body, and also the relation of alcohol with criminology, toxicology, and law. Okay, so till then, thank you and goodbye. Please like, share, and subscribe ITLS Academy. Thank you.